Lord's Prayer and Pledge of Allegiance. Our
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item C is swearing in of firefighter, paramedic, Marcus Schutte. Come on up.
Whoa!
All right, buddy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Your first firefighting unit, paramedic unit? Your second? Where were you before? How long were you there?
5 years full-time, 7 years total.
Okay. So we got the oath of office, we'll do this next. You're joining a good group, led by that man, the captain right there, and his assistant chief right there. Chief, I almost demoted you there, chief, I'm sorry. Chief and assistant chief. They're very good. The people you're joining are very good. They've all heard the same thing from me. I don't do lots of things when I'm there. I don't do the last call to get something done. Okay? They're not going to put you in harm's way. Don't you put yourself in harm's way. Okay? Now, as soon as humanly possible, after the emergency's done, right? And as soon as they say it's okay, pick your cell phone out of your pocket and call her.
Okay.
Say it's okay. I'm on my way home. All right? Put some stuff away for her. Clean some stuff, but I'm on my way home. Right? Yeah. Because your sirens go off and he goes run out the front door. You're like, yeah, we'll see you soon, right? Okay? All right, we'll go over here. And we'll square it up. Then we take pictures. You want to get close?
I got it.
You can get close if you can.
Okay.
If you want to. Okay. Square you up. There, this way, there you go. All right. I state your name.
Marcus Schutte.
Do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States,
I do support the Constitution of the United States,
the state of Ohio,
the state of Ohio,
the charter, ordinances, and resolutions
and charter, ordinance, and resolutions
of the city of Napoleon, Ohio,
and the city of Napoleon, Ohio,
and the laws of the state of Ohio,
and the laws of the state of Ohio,
and faithfully discharge and perform
and faithfully discharge and perform
all duties incumbent upon me
all duties that come upon me
as a firefighter paramedic
as a firefighter paramedic
of the city of Napoleon, Ohio,
as the city of Napoleon,
to
Ohio,
which I've been appointed
for which I have been appointed
for the best of my ability and understanding.
to the best of my ability and understanding.
Stick in.
Thank you.
Hey, tell us a little about yourself. Not gonna away that easy.
Marcus Schutte, 29 years old, came from Wasion, 7 years total. Great opportunities over there, looking to forward my opportunities here in Napoleon. Very excited, motivated. I just look forward to the future and serving the city of Napoleon and their citizens.
Okay. Who are your special guests?
This is my wife, Brooke, Maddie, my oldest, Allie, second oldest, and then Blake. I even have a little one that we left with family just because of her age. So
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
I got a baseball team going. So
There you go. Congratulations.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody.
Thanks, Chief. Welcome.
Congratulations, appreciate it.
Sorry, Chief.
Thank you.
Yes. Get a bullpen for you.
Okay, moving on to item D, approval of minutes from June 1st, 2020 council meeting. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the minutes shall stand approved. Stand approved. Item E is citizen communication. If there's anyone out in the audience that would like to address council on anything other than what is on the agenda tonight, please step forward to the podium, state your name and write your name on there. Is there a sheet there?
Yep. Yes.
And email, is that all we need, Rox? Okay, and I have a timer here, you get 5 minutes.
Well, I hope we can resolve a lot of this in 5 minutes, please. I may ask council, after many times of being questioned, what is Napoleon's policy, I'm going all the way up the ladder now, on asking for an investigation of either mainly a police officer for misconduct? I've asked, and I'm going to kind of get a little bit here, I've asked in form of a public records request, and I was told in the public records request by the dispatcher that the city law directors instructed her to say that that's not a public records request. Is it some sort of a secret organization or something, or what? I'm asking for what is the public policy and how to go about making a complaint against an officer that you have evidence and,
Okay.
and think of potential corrupt activity and or criminal activity. And I've been told by so many people that, even by a lieutenant, that I have a certified letter sent to me saying, I'll investigate anything you want me to investigate except another Napoleon police officer. Excuse me. Subsequently, after that letter was sent to me, there was a police officer that was fired and brought up on criminal charges and subsequently convicted.
Can I see that letter that?
That letter happens to be, and that's the only letter I don't have with me today, but Lieutenant Mall, and I can raise that, you guys should have copies of it. He said he'll investigate I wanted him to come, and he filed an investigation here, which I can, oh, this is really good. I filed an investigation asking to investigate another officer. He contacts me through my phone records, I can show you this. I'll get back with you, and I'll take your complaint. He never took my complaint, but he wrote a big, long page letter involving Mr. Harmon and everything else, that he conducted this so-called investigation, he found no problem. How does he know what the hell to investigate when he never came to me and looked at any of my documents or any of the stuff I had? That upset me. There's so much that I have to bring to this attention. In 5 minutes, it's never going to happen. And I got documents. But the key question is very clear. I'm asking council. They said contact the mayor, contact city manager, contact. What is our policy? And
I can check into that for you. I don't know off the top of my head.
Here's the letter sent to me that Dispatcher Walker testified that it was provided to her by Billy Harmon,
Okay.
telling me that, and I can hand this to somebody,
Yeah.
telling me
Can we
that that's
have
not public records request. Well, what is it? If it's not a public record, it's some sort of a secret organization, and I think it's very clear what I asked for. I asked, who is your internal affairs officer? Identify them, and how do I go about making a complaint, and would you give me that in writing? Now, this is our city law director, and this is what really upsets me, that our city law director is obstructing justice by passing that out, saying that's not a public. Well, then, you're not being clear what it is. Excuse me, that's like bathroom paper. Do I need to tell them what it's used for? Common sense says I asked you how to go about making a complaint. Just all you gotta do is tell me the proper procedure that you want me to follow.
Right.
I went all the way up the ladder. Now I'm here before city
Okay.
council. Now there's another thing here. What is this city's policy on officers turning off video cameras?
I don't know that off the top of my head, but I will get
Well, let me show you
answers to
this.
both.
On September, let me show you what the press release I got. The press release I got on September 19th, 2016, Napoleon entered into a contract with the Ohio on body cameras, saying that they were gonna follow, that they were going to be adopting the state of Ohio's position. I talked to Mike Navarre, which congratulated the city of Napoleon that, oh, they took all kinds of special training, our police officers took all kinds of special training, that they were going to honor the body cameras and stuff there, right? All this, Mike Navarre says, yes, they agreed to do this. Are you aware that they didn't? And I said, yes. On December 2nd, 2 months later, after an hour and 28 minutes, they were in the Diamond and Gold outlet. After 28 minutes, they turned off their camera.
Okay, I'll check into that as well.
Well, you know what really upsets me, sir? Our law director is thoroughly aware of all this.
Okay.
And why do I have to come to you? Why is it he saying, wait a minute, we have a problem here?
Well, that's something I will talk with
And
our
then
law
I'm gonna
director
also
about.
tell you another
Your
situation.
5 minutes is up, so we'll have to, we can schedule a time if you'd like to meet with myself and anyone else from the city. But during this meeting, our rules state that we can have 5 minutes for each person that comes to the meeting.
Okay, well,
So I appreciate your time, and I will get back to you
when will that happen, sir?
after I find the answers to your questions.
You don't know all my questions. So
The two
I'm
that
gonna
you
ask
gave
you
me.
that- Why don't we do this? Why don't we schedule a meeting? This way here, once we schedule a meeting, and then you could hear me out before we talk to Mr. Harmon and come up with it, whatever. I think it's very important.
If you
What's
put your
that?
phone number on there, I will
I-
give you a call in the next couple days, and we
Okay.
can schedule something.
All serious aside, sir,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to condemn our city. If I wanted to condemn it, it's wrong. What I'm saying is if the system is not there, or it's not working, or it's broke, or we don't have it in a system, then we need to address it.
That's
That's all.
right, and I'll check into that. I
I don't
appreciate
want
you bringing
special
that to our
treatment, I
attention.
want equal treatment.
Okay,
Thank you very much,
thank
sir.
you. Okay, moving on to item F, reports from council committees.
There's nobody else for E, right?
Sorry,
There's nobody else for E,
I'm
right?
sorry, is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address council? Okay, item F, reports from council committees. The electric committee met on June 8th, 2020. Lori?
Thank you, Council President. We accepted the BOPA's recommendation to approve the power supply cost adjustment factor for June 2020. And we also accepted BOPA's recommendation to approve taking from the electric reserve fund an amount of money that should not exceed $100,000 to be put into rate stabilization to keep residential rates below 13 cents per kilowatt hour, with a possible second installment, which would be decided next month.
Thank you very much. Item FB is Water, Sewer, Refuse, Recycling, and Litter Committee. Did not meet on June 8th due to lack of agenda items. And Municipal Properties, Building, Land Use, and Economic Development Committee met on June 8th.
Yeah, we recommended City Council approve establishing a TIF district, district, and seek a SIB loan for the American Road Improvements Project.
Great, thank you very much, Molly. Item FD, Finance and Budget Committee met in a special meeting to review the second quarter budget adjustments right before this meeting today, and we did pass the adjustments. And item FE, Parks and Rec Committee did not meet tonight due to lack of agenda items. Moving on to item H, introductions of new ordinances and resolutions, and we have none today. Item I, second reads of ordinances and resolutions. I1 is ordinance number 023-20, an ordinance amending certain sections of the City of Napoleon, Ohio water and sewer rules, specifically Rule 10.1E and 11E, and declaring an emergency. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Joel?
Thank you, Council President. As discussed at the last meeting, this ordinance amends the engineering rules to allow certain discretion of the city engineer to make determinations. When this came up, it was brought up by a developer and seeking an allowance to put in Y taps for sewers at a proposed new development and a new proposed residential development. So this is kind of a remnant of rules that were put in place, and since then, since the city has taken over the taps in the right of way, we felt that this would be a welcome change for flexibility. So requesting second read.
Thank you.
I've been thinking a little bit about this, Joe. I'm in favor of this. Should we put backflow devices on the sanitary lines? So once sewer plugs up, it's not going to back into the neighbors? We have some of them already in our system. I don't know if
The Ys actually would be connecting at the right-of-way line on our side.
okay.
So if there was a collapse that would cause both lines to back up, theoretically it would be an issue that the city would have to handle because it would be in the right-of-way. Now if it's on their own private line,
Mhm.
theoretically their own line backs up on their own and the other one can continue to flow. You see what I
Yeah.
mean?
But knowing the systems, I guess I'll have to do some more thinking about this.
Yeah. Chad, do you have anything to comment on that question?
It's kind of hard to hear Councilman comment all, but if I got the gist of it, it's about a backflow, some type of backflow preventer.
Correct.
If that was done, I don't know that it would change the current situation. The property owners could still put them on if they so chose to do off their side. We generally don't put them in the right of way. We allow property owners to put them on the private property side, and they'd still have that ability even with this rule in there.
Okay. That answers my question, Chad, thanks.
Any other questions or comments?
My pleasure.
Okay. Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay, that will be moving on to third read. Item I2 is resolution number 025-20. A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute any and all documents necessary to enter into a Department of Homeland Security Public Assistance Grant Agreement through the Ohio Emergency Management Agency and on behalf of the City of Napoleon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Joel?
This is just to allow us to submit a grant application to FEMA.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay, that will be moving on to third reads. Item J, third reads of ordinances and resolutions. J1 is resolution number 022-20. A resolution adopting the 2021 tax budget for the city of Napoleon, Ohio as required in sections 5705.28 and 5705.281 of the Ohio Revised Code, and directing the finance director to file the same with the county auditor and declaring an emergency. Can I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Hey, Kelly, have anything for us?
Yes, thank you. There has been an update to the tax budget. The county auditor sent over updated numbers because they were able to pull the most recent values. The other information is what they sent over in December, and that's usually what's used to prepare the tax budget. The new amount for the general fund, the 2 mills, is $300,653. It's a decrease of $878 from the other one that was presented. For the police, the 0.6 mil, the new amount is $90,196. It's a decrease of $263. The fire 0.3 mil is $45,098, which is a decrease of $132. And the pool levy, the 1.9 outside mil, is now $285,620, or a decrease of $834. So the total amount of levies for the new amount is $721,567, or a total decrease of $2,107.
Thank you, Kelly. Is that something we need to amend for this, or?
Not an
we-
amendment, the legislation allows for updated numbers,
Okay,
just getting updated numbers.
right, thank you. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay, that has passed on third read. Okay, moving on to item K, good of the city. K1, discussion or action, approval of power supply cost adjustment factor for June 2020 as 3-month average factor 0.02697, JV2 0.018099. Joel?
Thank you, Council President. As we discussed in the electric committee meeting, the power supply cost adjustment factor did spike this past month due to, we'll call it lack of usage due to coronavirus and things being shut down. That drastically affected our balance of power used versus what we have under contract through AMP for our generating resources and contracted power. So since we're long on power, the less usage meant that we're buying more power than what we need and then selling it back to market for less than what we're actually buying it for. So that caused a drastic spike, as you can see in the highest it's been in the power supply cost adjustment factor, putting us at about the average residential rate of nearly just 1/1000th shy of 13 cents a kilowatt hour. So that's where we're at, and then I think the next item we can talk about what was approved by the electric committee.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments? Do I have a motion to approve the power cost adjustment?
So moved.
Second.
Hey, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay, it's been approved. Moving on to item K2, discussion or action recommendation to approve taking from the electric reserve fund an amount not to exceed $100,000 to be put into rate stabilization to keep the residential rate below 13 cents kilowatt hour, with second installment decided next month if needed. Okay, Joel?
Thank you. Okay, so going back into the power supply cost adjustment factor being the highest that it's been, I'm going to go switch over to something that we received from the power supply group at AMP. Okay, so this just kind of calculates the year. This is what's forecasted for this year. Obviously, January, February, and March we're already through. This billing period is for April usage, so June bills go out for April usage. And that's why it's up. When you scroll across, you see the rate for power is actually 105.85, and then bringing the 3-month PCA up to 97. Like I mentioned before, it's never been that high, but that's where we are currently. I'll scroll down real quick so you can see what was forecasted originally for 2020 in April, and we were looking at $95 as opposed to the $105, and $91.85 as opposed to the $97 number. So it's going back up to okay, so the July bill will be for May usage and August for June. So you see these 2 months are looking to be even higher than the April month. So historically, that has always been the case for us and for Napoleon, and that's largely due to weather normalization and things like that. So, but historically, ever since I've been here at least, and even back into 2016, your July and August billings are historically higher. So what I'm getting at is, at least in terms of rates, what I'm getting at is one of the things that we could do is apply, and that's what we discussed at the electric committee meeting. We could apply $100,000 to stabilize the rates for a month. That way, we don't see an even higher spike, because not only do you have the 1 month of the April usage, but then looking at it for the next month, it going even higher, causing it to balloon even further. What that would do is at least $100,000 would get us in line, and working with the power supply group, they did look at that, and that would get this, instead of the 101, would get us down to maybe the $98 range, so keeping us around that 13 cents a kilowatt hour range for the 3-month rolling average. And then just we're eyeballing June usage with with everything going on. It's we can monitor it day to day, but we obviously won't know. I mean, the May usage we have, and we are right almost just a little bit under what this forecasted energy usage is.
Can you scroll down to what we
Yeah.
forecasted for May?
I'm trying to keep it big enough
Right.
so you can read it on the screen.
So it was 11,554.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're short in May as well in terms of usage. So that's known. June's looking a little more promising. Hopefully we wouldn't have to or want to do anything for the next month, but for right now, still tracking it. We've got a whole half a month to go yet. But for this month, it was recommended to plug in an sum not to exceed $100,000. Looks like if we're going to keep it at as close as we can to the 13 cents a kilowatt hour range, we'll have to plug the whole amount in.
So
But
if June is close to what we predicted, we still have to factor in April and May because it's a 3-month roll.
well, it is, but this is the rate for this month alone, and then when you factor in the previous months, it brings it down. So that's actually the 3-month.
Okay. So it's,
So by
which is higher than what predicted. So in June, we still have to factor in May, or April and May, which is higher than we thought. But
infusing $100,000 would bring this May number from 103 down to about $94.
Okay.
So thus, it would keep the 3-month rolling average at around $98.
Okay.
So the rate, I'm sorry, the rate number, you always want to focus on this, because this is what people are going to be, this is what they're paying.
Right.
For 3 months. This is going to be the rate for that month. If you're tracking. Sorry, that was a good point. So, but like I said, June's looking a little more promising. If we, temperatures hold, people are using air conditioning, and people are coming back to work and everything else, theoretically, we'll be back to not normal, but closer to coming back down without having to infuse anything into the rates. So, Kelly, I don't know if you wanted to do an update on what we have for cash on hand. I know we talked about last time, maybe it was last month, we had about $7.6 million in the electric development fund and that's a combination electric development fund and the operating reserve balance between the two. So, Kelly, I don't know if that's, I know it changes month to month, but I don't know if you had anything to add to that, or and I noticed, Kelly and I talked about this earlier, it's not necessarily taking funds out of the reserve and plugging it into the rate. It's adjusting the rate so that we're just not collecting that amount in the revenues.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be spread out. It's not just to bring the residentials down, it would be spread out amongst all the businesses. But the goal was to keep that, using the formula that we use, to keep that rate at about the 13 cent kilowatt hour rate for residential inside.
Oh.
Did I clarify that okay, Kelly? About revenue versus the expenditure?
Yes, there's no additional supplemental needed. It would just be less revenue received. We would still pay the AMP bill as normal. As of May 31st, the unencumbered balance for the main 500 fund was about 4.3 million. And then as of today, roughly the 503 fund is about 3.3.
So we're right about there.
I like this idea a lot. I think when the beginning of the coronavirus and people were talking about rates and I know a lot of us on council and with the city administration talked about a lot what ways could we help the community, and there wasn't really any easy way. I know we looked at so many different options and none of them seemed to work out very well. So I think this is great. I think it'll go a long way and help people.
Just to make sure I understand, it's not just residential, it's residential, commercial, industrial?
Correct.
Right, okay.
All customers
All customer.
on the whole system, even outside the city limits.
And so tonight we just need a motion to approve and we just move on then on that?
Yes.
Okay. You want to have any questions or comments regarding this?
Just that in our discussion, with the BOPA, there was a little reservation at first, but then recognizing that it's set back for a rainy day.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, we might consider that to help out with strange weather events or whatever, but this is obviously something we've not encountered. Hopefully we don't again, but it's kind of a good time to go ahead and provide that relief if we can, so.
An occasional gift to our customers is always a good thing whenever we can do it.
Right.
I agree. Well, I'll entertain a motion if someone would like to make that.
I'll make the motion.
Motion?
All three of us.
You were too slow, Ross. Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes?
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
This will be on the agenda again for next BOPA Electric Committee, so we'll have a similar discussion and see where we're at.
Okay, thank you. It's been approved. Moving on to item K3, discussion or action recommendation to establish a tax increment financing district and state infrastructure bank loan for American road improvements. Joel?
Thank you, Council President. What I'm going to bring up here was in last week's packet. This just kind of gives it's a two-page explanation of summary of TIF district, SIB loan, and the project. So first things first, the TIF district. Tax increment financing districts can be created as public financing methods for infrastructure community improvement projects. In summary, think of a CRA. When you have a CRA, you're abating the taxes for the developer on that piece of land for any improvements that they make. Well, in this case, you establish the district and encompass all of the different parcels that are in the district. And any improvements that are made on those properties, instead of being collected, they get collected and put towards the debt service for whatever project that you're taking on. So that's kind of the brief summary of how the TIF district works. One little thing that's not in here is they can't be more than 300 acres per district. But you can set up different districts if you wanted to for other improvements. So when you're thinking of a TIF district, you're thinking of, well, it takes a long time for properties to develop, so that doesn't pay for the project getting done right now. So in other words, you have to find a financing mechanism then for the improvements that you want to make. In this case, we're suggesting a SIB loan because, and here's basically in the SIB loan, here are the terms and conditions. 3% fixed interest rate, maximum 25 years. The first payment doesn't need to be made until 30 months in, with no interest the first year and only interest owed in the second year. And then 6 months after that is when the first payment is due. And then loan repayments, the beauty of these SIB loans is that they can be tailored to fit whatever situation you're in. I'll get to that in a second. And then additional funds are available if something happens or readjust your payment schedules. But in the TIF district, and let me scroll down to the map real quick so you have an idea of what we're talking about. I know we talked about this in like budget hearings and other times as well, but it's just kind of a refresher here. The American Road project, it's split up into 2 phases. So if you see the cursor, does everybody understand where we're at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the TIF district itself would be all of the parcels in yellow and would cover the black line, Oakwood Avenue, up to the intersection of American Road and finish out the remainder of the project up to the pet vet. So that would be the actual TIF district portion of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll back up. But I'll just leave it on here and bore you with some details. The project started when Love's proposed to develop on this property on the corner of Industrial and American Road. And we had some other developments popping up. The Shank Properties development, the Paul Martin and Sons, and another one is looking to develop where the cursor is. And The
Crematorium.
Crematorium, yeah. And there's some other property transactions taking place in this area, and more inquiries and whatnot happening. So right now, we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4 projects that are in the making right now. So with that, with this Loves project, and actually the Shank Properties project is what actually got us the $600,000 in grant funds from 3 different sources: the Transportation Improvement District, Ohio Jobs and Commerce, and 629 funds. We are partnering with Maumee Valley Planning Organization, and Will Burns is on the call right now. Will, I have you muted, so if you wanted to chime in or talk, just unmute yourself and say hello. So with that, Maumee Valley Planning has been working with Loves. They've secured a $500,000 CDBG grant, and Loves is actually responsible for the remainder of their portion of the project, which covers up to their property line. What they're looking at doing is building a 3-lane concrete drive road in front of their portion, then it kind of tapers back down. All concrete because of the volumes of truck traffic that they're presuming that they're going to have there. And there's some other intersection work that they have to do, and possibly a light at the interchange of Industrial Drive and 24 on the north side, where there's not a light now. So let me pause right there and ask Will or Chad, has anything changed from what I described in the Loves project, or is there any detail that I missed that needs to be added?
The only thing I have is that we are going to extend Love's project a little ways so we don't disrupt the veterinarian clinic 2 years in a row.
And that's what the grant portion is going to cover. So the grant portion is covering engineering and this remaining portion to this point.
Yeah, I think you covered everything else, Joel.
Okay. So with that, and the schedule for that is this year, is that correct? That's going to be, they're looking to have that completed by the end of the year?
I'm not sure of completion, but they're looking to get underway yet this year.
Okay. So it's a pretty substantial amount of work, probably in the $2 million range amount of work just for this road rebuild. So the remaining portion, if you've driven down this road, you can see where the asphalt is starting to come apart, and where spray patching isn't going to work anymore. This was a road acquired by the city as the city grew and annexations were happening. So don't know the exact age of the road, but it's starting to see you can really see the wear and tear, and it doesn't really meet the needs of what this area is, which is all zoned industrial. So it's not a road built for truck traffic, and that's the next step, the next phase of industrial development heading out this way. That's a need for this area for future development. So the TIF district would cover this portion, the black line portion of the project, and would schedule to be a 2021 project as of right now. So that's kind of the background. A little bit of additional information. Again, just like CRAs, if you go over 75% and 10 years, you have to have school board approval. Now, the interesting thing about this project is that it covers 2 different school districts. So where the cursor is, you can see the straight line heading up and down. Everything to the right is Liberty Center School District. Everything to the left versus Napoleon School District. So whatever we propose to do above 75% in 10 years would need both school board approvals. We have met with both school districts and both are welcome to the idea. But what we're looking at is I know I mentioned the 20-year TIF district, 75% rate, but we can do 100% TIF and provide a payment in lieu of taxes, just like a CRA. So it really operates very similar to a CRA, and that would go to the school districts and whatever other entities. Yeah, TIF districts can't exceed 300 acres. Other than that, there's, in order to move forward, we would need approval to move forward with the steps that are necessary in order to establish TIF district. And I know Billy has all those, but there's a series of steps and then followed up by legislation. So I don't know, do we want to go through all those right now, or
I guess,
is that?
the important part is that the next month or so, maybe 2, 3, is going to include a lot of notice to the public. We're going to have a hearing. I have to check the exact amount of time, but notice to schools, notice to the county, notice to the various property owners. I think it's at least 30 days prior to passage. We have to have a public hearing here to discuss and hear people out. We've got something to say about what we're proposing to do, and the legislation will follow. So there are some steps before legislation could be passed. I think to move forward, if council gave approval on this topic and directed me to draft legislation, this would be the first time I didn't bring legislation directly back to the next hearing, but I will bring it back at the appropriate time after we've conducted all the notice provisions and had the public hearing.
So tonight you just need a motion to draft legislation, excuse me.
Yeah, we can do that. I'll
Okay.
bring it back when it's appropriate after we've provided all the notice and held the public hearing.
Is the boundary of the TIF set like that, and when is that final?
When council passes legislation.
Okay. I just, that piece that goes, that piece, yeah. I just thought that, is there a way to continue on towards the east? Yeah, right in there, yeah,
There is.
okay. I don't know how hard it is to go option 1, option 2, but is there a possibility to go option 1, option 2 with it? I understand the 300 acres, and that's probably why that big piece is in there, and I understand that, but I'm just a
Yeah.
question, so.
No, it's good, and just, and I know Dennis Miller's not on here, and Will is, Dennis brought this up at the last meeting, and that is, how do you develop this property back here? Well, if we collect additional, because your TIF district is a percentage, and you collect on it. Well, if you collect more than what, say, this project is, you'd have additional funding to do other projects, like if needed, build a road into this property to get development here, or infrastructure, or whatever, that would be then dedicated to public potential. But, I mean, I think we have enough room maybe to add this parcel, maybe. But I think that would be squeezing that one in. I know there's another parcel behind the Petro, and then there's another parcel that's behind that one that's actually
Right.
outside the.
Yeah, I just think if, we're gonna, we might as well grow kind of where the infrastructure already is, kind of plan for that versus that, that other piece. That's my just, as I look at it, that's gonna make sense to me to kind of stick
Yeah.
near to the roads we already have, because in order to hit the one that's not currently highlighted, that's just north of the truck stop there, there's a very small road that has to be basically continued up there, and then you're there. versus a whole new, all new, all new, all new, all new. So just, it'd be nice to have, if it's possible, option A, option B to go.
In terms of boundaries?
Yeah, yeah.
I think, Will, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you know, it has to be, the property has to somehow benefit from the project also, is that correct?
Yes, yeah, the property does have to benefit. Now, whether, I mean, this property, with the improvements being done at industrial, whether it's the signal at the exit south or the intersection of industrial and American, maybe you could argue that that would have an impact on that property as well.
Okay.
It might make it different, I'm sorry, Mayor, difficult, given that some of the notice provisions. It might make more sense to come to some conclusion as to what we want the map to look like before we start sending out notice.
Okay.
If we're gonna have an option, I mean, so we're sending out notice at this point, to maybe some of these other properties off east, that they are now potentially option B, but some of these, and then removing.
I understand.
Only option
Right.
A, and so it might get a little complicated. I'm not saying it's impossible. What I'm saying is it might, if council has ideas as to how they want to structure the map, if they want to think about it a little more, maybe, I don't know. I'm not trying to hold up anybody's deadline.
And I'm not either. I just want to see another option because I just think that if we're gonna, it looks to me like we'd rather stay closer to Oakwood and American and industrial, and I'm not sure that that one piece fits that, as well as potentially, again, you know, I don't know all the details and all the sizes and all the who owns what, but if we do an option A, option B kind of thing, next council meeting, was that enough time then? Let's go push it back 2 weeks.
If maybe, Joel, if we could, schedule something for either the next council meeting or committee meeting where we could potentially bring or have everybody involved at Palmy Valley, on the phone anyway, to describe, I guess, what would the potential benefits be for option A.
Yeah.
And then option B, and then have council make a decision as to what the map is going to look like.
Right.
Before we start to try to send out notices.
Yeah.
Confusing everybody
Right.
as to, okay, am I option A or B or?
Right.
What's going on exactly, so.
There is a timing issue to all this too, just keeping this in mind.
Do we have 2 weeks to play with or not?
It'd be 3 weeks because of the third Monday.
Okay.
Will, did you say that this property behind, north of Petro could be added?
I think at one point we had it in, but we also, I don't think, didn't have one of the parcels off of Oakwood got omitted accidentally. So I'd have to run those numbers. I'd be glad to do that. We can make a couple different variations of the map and get back to you if you'd like.
I see we need to see 2 options. I know we're in a time crunch, I understand that, but how do I else? Am I just on crack? Is there risk of seeing the same kind of thing?
Well, the current boundaries were decided by owner of the property. Is that what you said?
No.
They're the same property owners, though.
Right.
We tried to configure 300 acres or near 300 acres that was around this property that we felt benefited most from it to make it. And I could see the trouble being adding properties over here would draw away from it. I think one of the issues is that, maybe we can justify because of this signal here, but the signal's being put in here because of a road study done by Love's that was requiring to put one in. Not only that, but, you know, putting the TIF district in place would not allow for, if these properties are developed, for any other type of abatements until after. And that's why, you know, when I talked to Will, I thought that these properties behind here if they were omitted, there is a potential for abatements at a future date where they wouldn't be. They'd be locked in at whatever rates, so.
I'd be a little concerned as well. I mean, when we give notice, I'm sorry to interrupt, Joel.
Yeah, go ahead.
It looks like these property owners can ask to have their property removed from the potential district as well. So when we give them notice, send out a proposed map, something like that, and they show up to a hearing, they can submit a written response to the city not later than 45 days after the postmark of the notice. So
Okay.
we might be looking at a change, after we send that notice out, we might still be looking at a change a month and a half down the road.
Can people ask to get in if they're not in it?
I don't see that here, but
Okay.
I don't want to say no.
Understand.
Probably.
Right.
I would think that if we had a public hearing and people who were interested in something like that showed up and said, okay, well, this guy wants out, but I'd like to come in. Depending on some of the other, I'd like to talk to Maumee Valley and see, they have a little more experience in
Right.
than I do, so. I don't have any, by the way. But I'm trying to read up on it, and it seems like we might be, I'm not saying moving fast, but maybe just not quite understanding that there is some change potential for the next month or so, a month, two down the road. We put that notice out, we have the hearing, people show up and they want in, they want out. There could be some change coming as well after we discuss this. So.
Will, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the total that we have right now is just a little over 287 acres.
So we could add this one.
Couldn't remember if that was 11 or 13. There you go.
Oh, that's from Virginia. Whoops.
I think there's one in Georgia too.
There.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is. Gosh, you gotta type in Ohio.
Joel, while you're looking that up, Ross had a question also. Can you see unmuted, do you know?
Is he unmuted?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. Joel, are there any benefits to the school district?
Benefits, well, it's, economic development's a long game, so, having the improvements there make the properties around there more enticing to develop. That's the whole logic behind it. And rather than have, use our capital funds to complete these projects, because that's what would have to happen probably within the next, maybe 5 to 7 years, looking at the condition of the road, at least. And, if this is the next area for industrial development, then yeah, the benefit is that it helps development. The con
I
is...
guess I asked, by keeping the line where it is now, is that benefiting us more than moving it to the right side of that image in Liberty's district?
Well, if you want, it's tough because you try to keep it even, and if you want school board approval, you try to work with everybody you can. That's a little bit bigger than 13 acres, so.
Yes.
So that'll be, that would not fit in there. And I don't think you can do partial parcels.
Say that 3 times fast.
Is the same group on all 3 properties?
This one, and this one, yep. They own them all. So that's, it's up to council, however you want to handle it, but, I think the logic behind the proposed area right now is I mean, it's sound for the project, and, I mean, could we cut these out and add this one? We could do that. These properties are already developed. Is there any sense in having them in?
Well, we're
If you're gonna.
3 or 4 acres short, you probably need to cut them all out.
These three?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be hard to see any improvements to those properties that are going to justify keeping them in to.
Right.
I mean, these are in there just to square it off, and that's actually the city limit right here. So this actual parcel is outside the city.
I was gonna ask that, Joe, how much of this property is in the city of Napoleon itself?
All of it, all this is.
All that?
Yep. This is the first property out. These are in, this is custom ag,
Right?
and the rest of it's in.
Not the piece to the upper left, though.
Upper left, this?
Yeah.
That is in,
That's all in the city limits?
all in the city limits,
Wow.
yes.
That's Pioneer High
Right here.
Seed?
See the yellow
No.
dotted line, dash line?
Pioneer's just outside.
So Danny Damon's in there? He's right next to it? Same side of the road? Or is he out?
How big is that spot?
So.
There's 2, so
acres.
we're closer already, because we're just over by 3 or 4.
Yep, yep. 2, 2,
So you can nip off those and add that other piece behind.
and 2.5. Kinda odd.
So it's
Doesn't
7,
look like that, but,
6.5 or 7.
oh, this one, sorry, yeah, 1.5.
Yeah,
1.5, 2.5, and 2.3. But I did notice this one up here, was left out. So, Will, did you see that?
Okay.
If you look at the map, see right here?
Okay,
That
that
little-
little 2 acres there, okay.
We could add that, and then add this,
Yep.
and then take these 3 out.
Yep.
Okay. Yep, we can do that.
That would be the way to do it, add a big chunk here.
Yep. Where there's more chance for development.
Yep. Unless we wanted to do this piece, but, I don't, does it have to be all contiguous, Will? I think it does.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, then just go
That's-
next piece there.
It does have to be contiguous.
Add this and this.
Yep.
Which should be okay. Barely. Barely. So will that work for everybody?
That'd make me happier, yeah.
I think that's a good idea. And then we can see, like Billy said, if somebody could say, hey, I went out, then we can always add something else
Yep.
in if it makes sense.
As long as we have a solid idea of what the map's actually gonna look like before we start sending out.
Right. Understand, yeah.
Would be helpful, and then we can proceed with, I mean, so a lot of these, notice to the public, I talked about the hearing already, notice to schools and to the county, 45 days prior to adoption of any ordinance, so we're looking at, I mean, some of the notice that we'll have to give specifically to the property owners, and I think, the schools in the county, is going to have to be very specific to include a lot of this information that you're looking at now. A lot of that needs to go in the packet that goes to these property owners and to the schools
Yep.
and so on, so, if we can, like I said, if we have a solid idea of what the map looks like, then we proceed to give notice with the map, to show, here's what we're thinking, and here are the, here's what we identified as potential. But if you guys are satisfied at this, I guess at this point with, instruction to Joel, then I think we can proceed to, I'll draft the legislation, or I'll get some assistance in drafting the legislation to make sure it's correct, especially with regards to any potential SIB loan. Making sure that what we adopt is exactly what we need to get financing as well, so, we'll start working on that, and we'll start working on the other stuff with consideration.
Works.
All right, so I'd like to make a motion to draft the or direct the law director to draft the legislation.
So moved.
Second.
Hey, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to item K4, discussion or action, Napoleon Aquatic Center and Golf Clubhouse project.
Okay, thank you, Council President.
Mhm.
Pardon me a moment while I here. Okay, as everybody knows, I think by now, we went out to bid for the Napoleon Aquatic Center project. Received bids back on June 4th. And with the bids that we got back, we weren't able to award. Just based on constraints of the Ohio Revised Code, limitations to codified ordinances, and the bids were above 10% of the engineer's estimate. When we looked at the bids, in total, they were split out between pool side and building side. The contractors could bid the total project, or they could bid building, pool. Most bid separate. And what we found is that the numbers for the pool construction were in line with what we had estimated. So, generally speaking, we're seeking approval from council to first reject all bids because they were all above 10% in it combined. And then requesting that council direct the law director to draft legislation to waive competitive bidding for the pool portion only. We were looking to contract out each side under two different contractors at the time when we bid this in the first place. So in order to keep the schedule going, at least for the pool project, we're happy with the way the bids came in for that portion of it. And we'd be looking to contract with Astro Pools, is the name of the company. Other than that, not doing so, we would actually have to, since we're already going to be re-engineering the building side, we'd have to do some engineering and bid prep work for, separating some things out for the pool portion anyway, so we save extra cost for the engineering side. The downside to all of this and the bids that we got back is that the building prices came back too high. That's we're just going to have to go back and retool the size of the building and along with some of the design features of it, for lack of a better term. So just trying to narrow it down to a price that we can live with, that's within the levy amount.
How with the pool bid, would that, does that state a start time and a finish time if they were awarded it?
We'd have that built in. Chad, do you have any thought, or Tony, do you have any thoughts on schedule?
Assuming that the building, we're able to re-engineer that quickly, we would probably try to adhere to the same schedule, hoping to have the pool open for Memorial Day next year. That'd be our goal, and that's what we would work towards.
Okay. The reason I asked is I just talked to quite a few people just in the last 3 weeks, and no one can get pools and nobody can get pools scheduled to even be put in this year. I talked to somebody today that they want to do an $80,000 pool, and they said the earliest they can even start digging is July or August of next year. So I just wanted to make sure that whoever we do award this to has us on the schedule, that they are going to start right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know what contractors they're using, but there are a very, very limited number of contractors that can do commercial sized pools like this. Very, very limited.
The contractor we would look at working with, this is not a residential pool contractor. This is a commercial pool contractor. There's only a few of them in this part of the country, and generally summer is their slow time. They generally build pools through the winter. So actually right now is a good time for us to try to contract with a commercial pool builder.
Great.
I spoke to the president of Astro Pools just a few days ago, and if this is approved, they would be willing to sign the contract and get started. They were anticipating starting already this summer. He assures me that that would still be the case here. And again, as both Joel and Chad indicated, there's very few of these types of contractors that build these pools. They are the ones that build Wasion's new pool, Bowling Green's pool, and the 3 pools that we visited last summer when we were touring pools to get ideas. They do excellent work. That was the contractor I was hoping that would get it. So I'm confident that they'll be able to meet the deadline that we have.
Thank you.
Can I make a point of procedure? So the first step that we absolutely need is a motion approved to reject all bids. The second step through, pursuant to Napoleon Ordinance 10604, to draft legislation to forego the bid process and award the pool portion of that project as described by Joel and Chad. Assuming, because it would be, council would have to find it in the best interest to do so, in the sole discretion of council. So, Chad and Joel, and they will give the reasoning. If you agree with that reasoning, then you can pass that legislation for the pool. And then I don't know that Chad needs it right away, but I think that the motion to rebid a narrowed view of the project forthcoming. Call it the building project, as opposed to the pool house project. That would be a third step that might be helpful to keep things moving.
Thanks, Billy.
Thank you.
And the reasons are detailed in the memo, but basically it's to save on engineering costs, capture the competitive price. It is a unique project. Obviously, there are very few companies in this part of the country that do this. And then, meeting the expectations of the timing, making our best efforts to do that. So those 3 factors weigh heavily into that decision. And going with the Astro Pools was the lower of the 2. And just to kind of get into the dollars and cents a little bit, we'd be looking at roughly a $1.7 million contract for this portion. The original estimate was a $1.2 million, but with some of the out of the 15 alternates that were in here, we feel that adding most of the alternates except for one would be appropriate to add in here. And this is the pool project first and foremost. That's what it comes down to, and that's what we've been talking about internally. First and foremost, this is a pool project. When people come here, they're not going here to ooh and ah the bathhouse. They're coming to swim. They're coming to play in the play features, and use the clubhouse too. But the clubhouse is, it's still part of the project, but
it will no longer be
kind of a
project
add-on.
has legal definitions that were
Right. All right. Understood. The building side. So, So that's why, we've been, discussing and talking about the pool portion. And that's the focal point of this. And, we're confident in the bid and the pricing in this portion of it. And then the building, we can address later. So, yeah, about 1.7 million, that includes the slides, all the spray features, keeping it 8 lanes. The only thing that we would nuke out of this is the climbing wall. So, that's the only thing right now. We can add it later if we get good bids back in the building portion, but as of right now, we can always bring that rock climbing wall back to council if it's. Now, we're gonna build that part of the deck to accommodate that at a later date, but that would be the one thing right now that we'll forego.
Okay, I make a motion, we reject the bids.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes?
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay.
And I make a motion that we forego the bidding process.
Okay, to waive the competitive bidding
Yes.
and draft legislation. I'm sure, Roxanne, you probably already typed that up when Billy said it earlier. I heard you typing back there when he was talking. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes?
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
And then I'll make a motion to rebid the process.
I'll second.
For the,
So we're rebidding the pool house or the clubhouse
Right.
project.
That's what he said.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
it's hard to hear back there where you are.
Sorry, it's worse when I get my mask on.
Yeah. You're not supposed to cover your ears.
You're wearing that wrong.
Okay. So do we have just a motion so far? Or do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes?
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Item K5, discussion and action and approval of plans and specifications for Park Street improvements Phase 4. LTCP project number 17C partial.
I think this is the last phase, the Park Streets. This.
Has some happy neighbors too when Park Court gets paved.
So, it's estimated 475, 275 of that comes out of grant funds. Basically replacing storm, a little bit of sanitary, some roadway work, and some water line work. So it's a long-term control plan project, and it's the last. This was budgeted for this year, and this was the last of the Park Street. Uh-oh. Are we still on?
We got this screen on.
Yep.
You got your screen on?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the grant that delayed this
Now we don't. Now we do.
phase? Do you remember
Pardon?
I do, yeah. We waited on the grant for this part, right?
OPWC grant.
Yeah, we waited on the grant to do this part, right?
No, that was phase 3.
It was phase 3, yeah.
That was 555,000.
Been long enough, we waited long enough to do it.
We got that one, and then once we got that project going, phase 4 is following that up. And there's 275 in addition to that.
Is that section of Strong Street gonna get entirely repaved?
Chad?
No. The only street on this project that's getting fully repaved, resurfaced, is and I apologize, I get this wrong, Park Court. Yes, Park Court. The other, we would be patching the trenches.
Okay.
Would you like us to approve that?
Yeah, if you would, please. And
All right.
Chad, what's the schedule on that? When are bids due?
They're due, I apologize, I don't have it right in front of me. The bids are due, I believe, the second week of July. It being OPWC, everything happens after the 1st of July. So we have the completion date for approximately Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Chad.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments regarding this?
Chad,
Yes, sir.
water line on Strong Street down by Haley. You plan on doing anything with that?
Not as part of this project. It's something we can address later, but as part of this project, we weren't going to get into that one. That might be a good project to look at when we decide to do more work on the street itself.
Okay, you know the reason I'm saying this, right? Because of them services being so.
Yeah, that one's pretty shallow. We haven't had too much trouble with frozen services on that street for several years. So knock on wood, it's going well there. And the other projects in these neighborhoods have been so incredibly large. We didn't want to get this project too out of hand, so we tried to keep everything scaled back a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Someone like to make a motion to approve the plans?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff?
Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Okay, plans have been approved. Item K6 is discussion or action, second quarter budget adjustments. Just need to direct the law director to draft legislation.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff?
Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Okay. Item K7, we're going to pick on the law director a little bit more. Discussion or action on CARES Act Fund SB 310. Direct the law director to draft legislation.
So moved.
Would
I'm
it-
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
We're just gonna-
I'll go too fast. So the CARES Act was signed by the president in March. Ohio finally figured out how they want to try to start distributing some of those funds to municipalities. What used to be Senate Bill 310 is now House Bill 481. I believe it was signed by the governor at the end of the week last week. So we are going to start seeing municipalities submit their requests for these funds. Actually, I know that a number of municipalities have, within the last week or so, passed legislation to get that done. Because I would prefer that we not be the last in line for some of these funds. And I know this is a special thing, and we try not to do this, but I do have the legislation I was about to be directed to draft ready to go. Because I'd like us to get as much of this funding as we can. And it is, I brought it with me, if council wanted to have a look at it, if you want to take a break. I only brought one copy, but I can make more. If I want to take a break and read it first, basically it states that this is the legislation that we have to pass before we can start asking for those funds. And actually, just today, I've been making amendments to this thing pretty much every day for the last week because they changed the federal code section. Just today they did, so we had to get back in there and change a couple of things, but it's ready. And actually, some of the municipalities who already passed it are wondering, do we have to go back in and redo it? And so there's a lot of that on the attorney listservs going on, the municipal attorney listservs right now going on. But this is the final version, I think we're ready. If council wanted to take a break and look at it, or if council, however you wanted to proceed, you could certainly attempt, I know we don't like to do this, but walk it on, so that we can get, our portion of it submitted as quickly as possible.
Yes, I'd like to take a 5-minute recess then. Do you need to shut that off, or?
Unmuted.
All right, I'll call the meeting back in session. Okay, so, Billy, then we can,
Maybe you can bring it on yourself and then take a vote at that point. We'll be asking for suspension simply so we can get it done as fast as possible and get it to the state so we can start to receive the funds. If there are any additional actions as far as setting up funds here locally to receive, we'll bring that back as soon as we can. I'm looking at that right now. I think that the legislation might cover it, but if it doesn't, if there's some additional action after we've started to submit our paperwork, then we'll bring that back to you.
okay. All right, so the resolution is number 026-20, a resolution affirming that funds from the county coronavirus, is that right? Is that county or is it country?
So it's the county, so the funds are given to the county, is
Okay.
my understanding of it, and so we submit documents to the county as well.
Just want to make sure. From the county coronavirus relief distribution fund will be expended only to cover costs of the city of Napoleon, Ohio, consistent with the requirements of section 5001 of the CARES Act as described in 42 USC 801, formerly 42 USC 601D, and any applicable regulations as is necessary pursuant to HB 481 before receiving said funds and declaring an emergency. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I don't think we need any further discussion or thoughts on that. And you'd like a motion for suspension? Okay.
I'll also make that motion.
Okay. Jeff.
Second.
Rox, please call the roll on suspension.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, Rox, please call the roll on the resolution.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay, that has passed.
Thank you, council.
Okay, moving on to item J8, acceptance of Walmart grant in the amount of $1,500 to the fire department.
Thank you, Council President. It's a $1,500 grant from Walmart for a mobile repeater for the fire apparatus.
We'll make a motion, we accept.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay, that has been accepted. Item K9 is discussion and action, acceptance of Ohio Law Enforcement Body Armor Program Award of $5,363.95 to purchase body armor for police officers.
Just seeking approval for acceptance.
Okay.
Make a motion, we accept.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay, that has been accepted. All right, we'll go around the table. Haven't heard from Kelly in a while, so we'll start with Kelly.
Thank you. I do not have anything for tonight.
All right, thank you. And how about Molly?
Yeah, I actually just had somebody email me right before we came into the meeting.
So I was just gonna read her email if that's okay. This comes from Denise Etzler. She didn't know who to reach out to, so she thought I'd be the best one to contact. She said, I'm frustrated with the new sidewalk ramps put in on South Perry Street. They were replaced from Maumee to the fairgrounds. Unfortunately, these are almost all curbs and not ramps. She's handicapped, and she also walks her dog. She wants to know are the streets that cross Perry Street also going to be repaved this summer? If so, will they be paved to meet?
Nothing.
Sorry. If so, are they going to be paved to meet the new ramp height? As of today, I had to use driveways and ride on Perry Street whenever I take Axel out, which is her dog. And this was not safe. And she just gave an example. The corner of Perry and Maumee, my wheelchair cannot get up on the new curb at any of the 4 corners. Therefore, when I walk, she volunteers at Together We Can Make a Difference. When she goes there, I cross Maumee by using the subway and gas station driveway. So she was just looking for some input and some help with that.
No, we'll get an answer back right away.
Okay.
I think the short answer is the paving's not done there yet. When
Okay.
they finish paving,
Okay.
it should be up to.
Should be up to code.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because obviously there's a layer they're missing because all the manhole covers are still exposed, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
Finished course, isn't it?
That's that's a better way to say it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that was it.
All right. Lori?
I just wanted to thank Billy for being proactive in bringing that legislation for the CARES funding, because it is a big deal and it will be helpful, so.
Didn't want to lose our place in line.
That's right. Right, thank you.
And we don't want to wait 3 weeks to get our place in line.
Yeah, and I saw that this was gonna be one of those longer breaks, so I'll bring it, and it's weird that we do it that way, that we don't ever do it that way, but it seems necessary.
That's awesome.
Okay. Mr. Mayor?
Lori and I today were at a ribbon cutting for a gig above technology, I guess, computers and all the stuff that goes with it. In the 800 block of North Perry, so right across from the Kester Engineering Building, right there by EK Computer. So it's always nice to go and cut a ribbon and meet some new people, and so hopefully they'll be here with a lot of success for a long time. I know that last council meeting, council passed that unless the governor changed a rule, we weren't going to do fireworks. I know that decision was reached last Friday not to do fireworks. Joel, can you just walk us through that, all the pieces that kind of went with that? Is that possible?
Yeah, there's only one piece, and that was the governor's, the new interim ODH director said absolutely not, and that was on Thursday.
Okay.
The decision was made on Friday. So Mark Adams was on a call with 107 people, and at 11:49 a.m., Lance Himes said, no, you can't have public fireworks displays. That is still a prohibited event. And that's really all we needed. And then, after that, Mark actually went down to Columbus and met with ODH officials on Friday. On his way back, he pulled over off the side of the road. We had a conference call with him, with some other community members. And he reiterated the same thing, that was absolutely not.
Okay.
Also on the call was their legal counsel. I can't remember the person's name, but ODH's legal counsel was on the call with Lance on that Thursday morning. So that was, like I said, it was 107 different health officials from around the state.
Right.
So that's when that statement was made. Can they change it? Absolutely, they can change it. They've been changing a lot of things. But as of that Friday,
That's our 20-day window. Yeah.
That was it. Now there were a lot of different opinions and takes, and what went into that, I guess the lobbying we did to get an answer was great. It was an immense task because of just trying to find an answer.
Right.
So I pled our case to Lou Cook, who passed it up the chain,
Right.
Lieutenant Governor's office, over to Mark. And on that call, he specifically mentioned Napoleon, Ohio wants to have fireworks. can they have them if the, you know, the way the orders are written today? And he said, absolutely not.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
I know you talked about asking for an extension from the contractor. Did you ever have that conversation?
no, I mean, right now, all we did was tell them that as of right now, it's over. And, we could always reach back out to them, try again, see if they'll set up another short notice show, but, they gave us a deadline. That was the contract, the way it was written. It was 20 days. It used to be 30 days. We got them to shorten it to 20 days. And, if things do change, we can always reach back out to them.
Right.
That's something we'll do. And I'll make it a point to reach back out to them, definitely, to see if they would still do something on short notice.
Right.
But
And I don't think anybody wanted to cancel fireworks. That's just not what any of us wanted to do. We all wanted to kind of say, okay, COVID, you can have the last 90 days, but going forward, we're having a lot more normal. But when you look around the country at states that opened up early, it seems like a lot of them were having spikes in cases. I think Georgia's one of the first ones to open up, and they're having some issues, and it's kind of going around. So it is not easy, but I think, one, we can't, but then the wisdom of what should we have, so, but it makes it easy when he says you can't, so, okay. Thank you, that's all I had.
Okay, Ken?
New flower pots and the arrangements in them look really nice.
do.
That's all I have.
Nice.
Quiet. All right. Ross?
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay. I just want to make a shout out to the police department. Just from hearing for the last couple of months, and it just seems like it keeps adding up more and more of like domestic violence calls, and a lot of people going through a lot of tough times with COVID-19 that maybe none of us in here are experiencing, but it seems like the calls for like domestic violence and things like that, where officers have no idea what they're walking into, state of mind that people are in. Just been reading about it a lot, hearing on police scanner a little bit. I heard one yesterday, actually somebody driving on 24, and luckily somebody driving near them could witness something going on in the vehicle, and we were able to, our police department was able to stop the vehicle and apprehend him. So my hat's off to you guys, what you're doing every day. Thank you. Please pass that along. Hey, Billy.
I'd ask for 5 minutes of your time. I'd ask for an executive session for pending litigation. Promise not to take my part anymore.
I'm bringing.
More than 5 minutes. If questions are involved, then it goes longer.
That we start the 5 minutes over every time there's a question. Okay. Joel?
Thank you. The survey, Ross had brought up putting out a survey related to the staffing level issues and reciprocity. We did finish the infographic today. We didn't get it up on our Facebook page, so first thing in the morning we'll have that up, and the survey is up on our website now. So just to try to gather information on that issue. Kind of brought up at the last council meeting by Ross when we talked about the public hearing, and just something to try to gather some information on. And it's real short. It's real easy. It's a real easy survey to take, and just just a good way, easy way for us to try to gather input. So that'll be going up tomorrow morning, and just the two items on the other two items for executive session.
All right, thank you. Could I have a motion to go into executive session for economic development?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff?
Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Okay, could I have motion go into executive session for items to remain confidential due to the competitive nature of a utility?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay, could I have a motion go into executive session for pending litigation?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay, we are in executive session. You ready, Rox? All right. Could I have a motion to come out of executive session for economic development?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to come out of the executive session for items to remain confidential due to the competitive nature of a utility.
So moved.
Second.
Hey, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
And a motion to come out of executive session for pending litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay, no action taken in any of those. Moving on to item M, approve financial reports and payment of bills. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the financial reports and payment of bills shall stand approved. Hearing none, they stand approved. And my favorite.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Rox, please call the roll.
Jeff,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes,
Lori.
Yes. Yeah, I missed that.
we are